The lost continent of Atlantis has intrigued readers for generations. Blake Cousins, welcome back everybody from around the world. We have incredible evidence coming in from Google Earth in regards to the lost city. But first, let's get started with this. Our first account of Atlantis came from the Greek philosopher Plato in the year 360 BC. He spoke of an advanced civilization that existed 9,000 years before his time. A civilization of gods, men, power, and destruction. The island, the continent that existed beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which in our time we call the Straits of Gibraltar. Well, the description of Atlantis is so detailed that it begs the question, did this place actually exist? Can we use Plato's description as a guide to find the lost continent of Atlantis? It was claimed by Plato that the gods of the old divided the land so that each god would have their own Poseidon, given Atlantis. An island that was larger than Atlantis was an island consisting mainly of mountains. Plato calculated it would be 3,000 stadiums in modern times that equal around 355 miles wide. Now Poseidon and his mortal wife, Evenor, gave birth to 5 pairs of male twins. The oldest of these twins, Atlas, whose name King of the Island of Atlantis, our depictions of Atlas today are of a man carrying the world on his shoulders. Plato spoke about how Poseidon carved out the land for his love Evenor and enclosed it with 3 circular moats of increasing size. These moats separated by rings of land that were proportional in size. The Atlanteans built bridges connected these rings of lands. They built docks, bridges out of stone from the cliffs surrounding the islands. The walls were made of red and white and black rock. Giant walls, a tower were placed at the entrances to every concentric ring. The walls were covered with brass and tin and whatever precious metal they had in the area. He spoke of how the island nation was made of rings, within rings, within rings. Rings were everywhere. Where mountains arose on the islands, you could find rings of water and land. Now, if we take Plato at his word and Atlantis did exist beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what would we find? Well, take a look at this. While looking on Google Earth, it appears there is some kind of giant landmass that could actually be the ancient remnants of the sunken island continent of Atlantis. A place in modern times that we call the Azores. Now, if we look at the Azores from Google Earth, we can see a giant landmass that exists underneath the water. And if you measure it, you can see this massive land mass underneath the water is a little over 400 miles wide, which is just a little over what Plato described. Now, not only the Azores are also a volcanic chain of islands, they consist of rings within rings within rings. And also found on these islands are red, black, and, you guessed it, white stones. And if that isn't enough, these islands are covered with ancient pyramids that no one knows who built them. There are even pyramids found underneath the water, like there was some kind of catastrophe. And what part of the land where these pyramids once existed is now underwater? Now, I want to get your opinions below, people. Do you think Plato is giving us the straight up answer of what happened to the ancient civilization known as Atlantis? Or is this some kind of fairy tale? Well, in my opinion, the Google Earth evidence is quite clear and astonishing, as well as these rings within rings within rings. It's exactly like how Plato described. The whole geography is about the approximate size of how wide it would be as Plato describes. What's your opinion, people? Is Atlantis waiting to be found, or has it been found already? Well, Atlantis is a hot topic, and there are many out there that say they know exactly where it is. I want to get your opinions. Do you think you know where Atlantis is? We have Brent Cousins here. We've been talking about this whole subject matter all day today. Brent, what do you make? What do you make of Plato's statements, and do you think Atlantis actually existed?
Well, I think Plato needed something that we got today, and I believe that technology and science is basically solved the existence of Atlantis. Google Earth is providing, I think, solid evidence in this being true, and I believe Plato was dead on about what his assessments were about Atlantis. This is incredible news.
Well, yeah, the technology is there for everybody to do their own research, and some people are saying that, well, it might not be in this exact location, but maybe somewhere next to Cuba. Have you heard about that? Atlantis possibly being located underneath the waters close to Cuba, Brent? What do you make of this?
Blake, I believe that if we had Atlantis, I'm sure that there was other civilizations that were basically throughout the world, and maybe there's more than a handful of more discoveries of Atlantean kind civilizations.
Absolutely. Massive civilizations extinct from our knowledge. It just is not in the history books. But if you believe what Plato is saying, you got to believe that there's other civilizations out there beyond our dreams, people. Beyond our dreams. Now, if you've got something that you've captured on video, you got to share it to us right here at Third Phase Moon. We want to see your incredible UFO videos, weather phenomenon. If you got something you want to share, we always have our radio shows every Monday and Friday night. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies and have a steady hand. We'll see you again next time. Thanks, Brent. By popular demand, Paul Barrett is back with his third album, Third Phase of Moon, The Strangest Things. 12 brand new tracks, heard by millions, on your favorite channel, Third Phase of Moon. Available on iTunes, Amazon, and music streaming services. Paul Barrett's Third Phase of Moon, The Strangest Things. Available right now. Links are below.